Hi, I'm Allison, the daughter of a narcissistic mother, and today I'm going to be discussing the importance of mindfully responding rather than emotionally reacting to a narcissistic individual. One thing that significantly narcissistic individuals do all the time is measure your responses and take note of when you respond emotionally, when you react, and they see that as a vulnerability of yours. And later they can use that to your disadvantage. Sometimes they will take verbatim what you say as vulnerability, like perhaps something that you're trying to communicate with them, like, hey, you do X, Y, and Z and it makes me feel tired. And they will say, actually, you do X, Y, and Z and it makes me feel tired. Another thing that happens is when they provoke you and you react rather than respond, they use those reactions as the new starting point of this conversation. So it's not like they provoked you, it's like, hey, you just reacted and you yelled at me and now the whole argument is your fault. So your emotional reactions are used against you. In both cases, when your vulnerabilities are being used against you or your upset reactions are being turned against you, you get confused. You're like, wait, I thought I was upset about that. And I thought that this argument started because you upset me and I got hurt. But in the end, the blame and the shame is directed at you. And you're the one who takes the guilt and likely ends up apologizing and doing something to get over the fight. So that all kind of sucks, but the good news is that if you listen to your heart and you act and speak with integrity, if you are conscious about how you deserve to be treated and aware of how you are being treated and perhaps the misalignment, the gap between the two, you'll be able to recognize, hey, this isn't actually my fault, and you'll know your truth and you won't be upset by someone questioning it. If you're not mindful, which if you're the child of a narcissist, you weren't taught to be mindful. You were taught to accept all of this brainwashing, this gaslighting. But moving forward, take deep breaths before you respond mindfully and be fully aware of the dynamic in your relationships. So this is pretty gray rock method-y, what I'm saying to you, in being very mindful and kind of unemotional in your responses to questionable individuals. So I'm doing research on the gray rock method and I'll share a video with you more, expanding more on that soon. But for now, start building that awareness of how you respond, not just to narcissistic individuals and people who make you feel a little uncomfortable, but to the entire world. Are you living in alignment to your values? Are you growing more into embracing your best self by how you respond to everything every day? Are you building the habit of becoming your best self? Or are you reacting simultaneously, moment to moment, by everything that comes in, which is kind of like living in survival mode, if you watched my last video. One thing to be super aware of is when you are defending yourself. If you're constantly defending yourself with someone, one, recognize that that's a red flag. Just be aware of this. Two, know that you're defending yourself with some people won't even register with them. And sometimes it's better left unsaid. Three, know that with these some people, these narcissistic individuals, you're defending yourself may validate their case in their skewed perception, and it may add to their argument. You may react. They may take your defensiveness and provoke you, and it may become more of a reactive defense, and it may become a full-fledged attack on you, saying that you're like super emotionally whack. It's also important to discern this responding versus reacting with who you're talking to. So if you're being triggered to defend yourself, to react, to get upset, to come out of alignment with what's probably your best calm, mindful, responsive self, what's causing that? Is it this person? If they're an outsider, just like a random friend or stranger, coworker, acquaintance, they're probably not a bad person. If they are, maybe they're in your life to bring awareness to your core root wound who caused this reactive, defensive survival tactic of yours. I don't want to say all outsiders aren't a problem, because I've definitely had bosses who are narcissistic, but they would trigger old wounds in me. Like, things they were doing weren't that bad, they weren't actually affecting my life, to the extent that I was reacting in return to, if that makes sense. So discern that like they're just outsiders and, you know, not necessarily deserve all of this emotion that they're bringing up from you. But if they're in a closer relationship with you, say romantic, or actually a part of your family, maybe they are a source of this reactive behavior of yours. So be super aware that like maybe they're not. Maybe they are innocent and deserve you to be a little bit more kind and get less triggered in certain things they do, because everyone deserves a little bit of grace. Okay, no one's perfect, but maybe they are pretty narcissistic, and maybe it's because they have a narcissistic parent as well. Say they're your sibling, say they're your cousin. You know, narcissism is in family trees all over the web of the world, and we all learned some mean behaviors, some narcissistic fleas. Some people are narcissists. So you got to become aware of like, okay, has this person always made me feel this way? Is this a pattern? Or like, do they just accidentally trigger me sometimes? Is what I am saying in a very long-winded way. This means, in some cases, putting your ego aside and letting someone berate you in a way that you didn't deserve. But in the long run, it strengthens your character and really speaks to how amazing of a person you are for letting them, you know, live their life while you don't get affected by it, while you are strong and resilient anyways. As always, please share your thoughts with me on everything that I said. You may have something super valuable to add to this conversation that may help me out in my own practice of this discernment and this response ability in my own life, and it may help someone else out, and it's just fun to connect. So share your thoughts down below. And a gray rock method video is coming soon, as well as a video on the victim, helpless narcissist, and Munchausen's by proxy. So share your thoughts with me about those things down below, because it may really help me in the creative process. I've never asked you to do that before, but yeah, there's what's on deck. Stay tuned, and I hope that you are doing super well. Healing is hard. Things ebb and flow. It's like sometimes up, sometimes down, but in the end, we are moving upwards. We're transcending our family ways, and all in all, it's gonna turn out good. So keep the faith. I believe in you. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.